Hey, I did actually. Yay! All right. So as I do with all of my playthroughs, at the end I usually give my thought process behind the game and how I thought about the game and how how I enjoyed it. In general, I truly enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it more than I think I would have. I'm a big Italian mafia buff. I've read a lot of the books. The Sicilian, the Wise Guys, the Godfather. I've read all the books. I've looked at all the movies pretty much that have to do with mafia stuff, and I've pretty much um, I pretty much also watched the movies, right? The Irishman, The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, you name it. There's a bunch of other ones, but those are the ones that everybody knows, right? And basically, this is a basic, a very standard tale. So just to start off with, did I like it? Yes, I did. It was better than I anticipated. It was very good, very entertaining for me. And I know that a lot of people might find these types of stories kind of boring, but for me, I personally really, really enjoyed it. Truly enjoyed it. And yeah, that's it. So let's go through a little bit of the game, how the game is through the sound, the graphics, the overall gameplay. So the graphics department. So this is the Mafia Definitive Edition, which is a reimagining or remastered of. Actually, it's more of a reimagining because there's certain missions that got merged together into one, and there's apparently some elements that are different. Now, I haven't played the original, so I wouldn't really know which ones were different, which ones were not. But having said that, this game came out in 2002, and the original game does look very dated. The front of the buildings looks very flat. Yeah, the buildings are really fun to look at, but it's not really. It's not really. It was nice back then, not now. And the UI, the UI aspect of it is absolutely gorgeous. I just want it to be in Lost Heaven and navigate the city. It's so gorgeous. It's so amazing. I love the time period. To me, that time period is amazing. The fedoras, the suits. I really, really loved it. From all the other, mafia, um, you know, mafia stereotypes. Different periods. This is the period I love the most, and it really played into my wheelhouse of what I really like. So the graphics look really, really cool. The cars look awesome. The city looks awesome. The characters look awesome. Yes, they're a little bit robotic in their movements and how, but the lip sync is actually pretty good in most cases. So I have to commend them to that because there's other games that have really good, Assassin's Creed. They look really, really good, but the lip sync is off. So for that, I give them kudos for that, and it's a very, very well done uh, reimagining, whatever you want to do it. So I really, really enjoyed it. That was really fun. The sound is awesome. The rain, the pitter patter, the soundtrack of this game is phenomenal. It fits in really, really well with the gameplay. Sorry, I'm yawning so much. It is late and I'm tired. Um, so having said that, this is really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. Really cool sound. So from that perspective, I think they knocked it out of the park. I think personally, it's better than the Godfather game. If I, from what I remember, it's a lot better. I truly liked it. The gameplay, this is where it kind of, I think it's its weakest point. It's not a first person shooter by any means, but when you do have to shoot or you do have to do the melee, the controls do feel awkward even now. I think they could have done something better. If you're going to reimagine it, they could have put in a little bit more effort in. Now, I don't know how the original game played because I didn't play it, but it kind of feels dated because it's third person. It's a little bit awkward. It's better than some. It's better than some games, but it still felt a little bit weird. It was hard to aim. To be honest, I actually got used to it towards the end of the game, which is, you know, surprising. Um, said that, in terms of the guns, I actually liked my pistol the best. Yeah, you could have a shotgun, a machine gun. Okay, fine. But the machine gun is very not precise, and you shoot the guy in the head with a machine gun, and apparently he doesn't die. At least with the shotgun, it's good at close range. It's usually a one-shot kill, close range. It sucks long range. But if you have the pistol is really good at shooting. Yeah, it's got me yawning. Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, I have. So from that perspective, I think the weapon selection was a little bit off. To be honest, you can go through the whole game with just a pistol. But again, every section has its own ammo. Sometimes there's certain sections or certain missions you're just left with your fist because you're supposed to sneak around. The AI is dumb as nails. You saw that tonight if you guys were watching, where there's a guy that literally turns around, stares at me, turns back, and I was able to do a stealth kill. So it's stupid. But having said that, I truly enjoyed the missions, the way they're outlined, how the story engages. I actually surprisingly really love the driving. The driving felt uh, how it probably would have felt driving those old games, those old cars. It was heavy, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty good. I love the look of the cars. The cars look absolutely phenomenal. It goes with everything else that's UI. It's really, really cool. Um, the story is very linear, and as I said earlier in the broadcast tonight, the game is reminiscent of games like Gears, games like Metro 2033, where the story is very linear. It's like going point A, point B. Or the mission is very objective with like many movies in between. And I'm okay with that. I mean, not every game has to be an open world. Not every game has to be, super, pow wow and have to be discovered. I truly liked it for what it was, and I appreciate the fact that it's pretty linear. I think Mafia 3 is less linear. I don't know about Mafia 2. I think they continued on what they did for Mafia 1. But again, if I buy it at one point, that's what I'm gonna have to go through. Um, and having said that, I think the game itself is a really, really good game. It's a very strong game. I think the remaster did it justice to the original. Keep in mind, the original was on the Xbox, the original Xbox. I think it came out on PC as well, but it was on the original Xbox and PS2. So this is like a super great thing. Now, I've played it also on my Series X. I didn't. I'm assuming that it loaded faster. I don't know. I'm assuming so because my original Xbox like just couldn't couldn't load anything fast. So the waiting times weren't that bad. They didn't feel that bad. So for that, I'm pretty good. I don't think it was optimized for the Series X either. So I think it was just playing it. It was just the fact that it was on a better machine. It played better. I didn't notice any clipping. No, sorry. I didn't notice any frame drops. When I used to play with the original Xbox One and the One S, I used to notice towards the end of the game used to chug a lot. Frame rates used to drop in certain places, especially when there were a lot of people on the stream, on the screen. And And I really like it. Didn't I didn't feel anything like that. It played really really well. I really have nothing to say other than well done, well done. This game is phenomenal. It's great. I think I'm really thinking of buying Mafia 2, which apparently is not too bad. Some people say that it's not as good as the story in Mafia 1. I don't know. I'll see. I'll reserve judgment until I play. Mafia 3 tried to be an open world. Not every game needs to. And this is what. And it's because players are fickle too. And that's one of my main complaints about today's games. Not every game needs to be an open world. Open world games are fun. Hey, I'm the first one to play open world games. But to me, story is it's the most important thing. And if you're gonna sacrifice story for being hip, what's hot right now. I'm sorry. The only game that I've played that did it properly or did it well enough that it was actually really fun was Metro Exodus. But it still felt linear, but it was still a little bit more open world, and I really appreciated it. Uh, Wolfenstein Youngblood failed at it miserably. Dead Space 3 was a little bit more open world, failed at it. It wasn't as fun. So when you're trying to be hip, don't do something just to do it. If you're gonna do it and you're gonna make a game, um, make the best game that you can make. And if it's a linear game, great, fine, I'm okay with that. That's and this game is not too long either. It's like 10, 12 minutes. Yeah, 10, 12 minutes. 10, 12 hours. Which is actually not that bad. Maybe if you're a completionist, maybe 18 to 20. If you find all the comic books and everything. Obviously, I didn't find everything, but some of them I'm pretty sure well hidden too, because I found a couple that were really off the beaten path. But sometimes it's really hard to actually see what you know you're in a scene and you're stuck in the scene and you're not sure if you're timed or not, or if you have to go, you can go search around. So it's a little bit off that. It looks a little bit off that way, but in general, as a whole, the graphics were awesome. The sound was amazing. The voice acting. Yeah, I forgot to talk about the voice acting. I really love the voice acting in this game. Yes, it's stereotypical Chicago, Italian, American, Americano, Italiano American, whatever you want to call it. It really is, they got Italian people to play it, and it showed. And it was actually fun to hear the different accents. Um, and yeah, I truly really loved the game. Is it a 10 on 10? No. There's too many technical issues in terms of like there's certain things. There's glitches in the UI is gorgeous, but sometimes there's glitches in the UI. Sometimes there's clipping. It's not without its technical issues, but the flaws didn't really overtake the gameplay. I was able to live with it with no issue, and it's fine. Um, like there was a couple of places where, and I actually clipped this, is when I'm riding on the street, I'm behind a cop car, and the cop car just disappears, like it was not loading properly, and I noticed that a few times while I was driving as well. It was more prominent in certain areas of the city, but still that was something that was there. So it's not a perfect game, but I would truly encourage you if you haven't, if obviously if you're watching my stream or you watch through it, you may not want to play it because it's a very linear story and it's not really hard to do. But I would say it's worth for the story. It's really fun. Next time I'll probably play it on a more difficult difficulty. Maybe I'll play it on difficult and see how it differs. But until that time, I think this game was really, really cool, really fun, and I encourage anybody to. And if a friend would ask me, would you recommend me this game, and I would say yes, I would recommend them this game. I think it was $39.99. Do I think that's worth it? Yeah, because there's games that I've seen for $39.99 that are not worth that, and they don't have as much polish. So hey, I'm happy. I'm happy I took this game on, and I'm happy that I'm really happy I played it. It's really, really cool. I didn't expect the. I'm not gonna say it, but I didn't expect the how the ending happened. But whoever played the Don played him really, really well. I love the voice acting on that. Who did Paulie, Sam, Tom, the rest of the cast? They did Sarah. They did a spectacular job. Luigi did a really, really good job. So kudos to that, and yeah, good job all around. I really enjoyed it. It took me longer to play because I didn't stream as much, but I'm hoping that I'm gonna free up a little bit more time to stream, and hopefully I'll be able to get through a few more games. I don't know what I'm going to be playing next for story-driven. A lot of people have liked Gears 5 DLC, Hive Busters, I think. We'll see if that's cool, if that's worth it. So we'll see. It's on Game Pass, and the DLC is on Game Pass too, which is weird. There's a few games that I want to play as well. I want to play Tetris on stream because I want to review it as well. I don't actually know what's on here. I actually didn't download much. Yeah, I just have Mafia and that, so we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know on Twitter what my next game will be. Obviously, I'm actually thinking the next time that I stream, even if it's not Sunday, I want to finish Police Quest 3. Because I want to actually start either Space Quest 1 or System Shock 2. I'm stuck between both. And I'll see, because I don't even know if System Shock will run properly on my laptop, only because I ran into issues for older games. I always run into issues running it, and sometimes I have to make the screen resolution a little bit bigger, and I have to adjust a few things. So I'm hoping that I'm able to get that sorted out fairly soon. If not, probably Space Quest 1. That's probably the easiest one. Yeah. So hope that you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for those that passed by. Dreamer, Tagger, Foxy. Thank you so much for passing by, saying hi, just popping in the chat. Thank you for those that have watched on YouTube. And also thank you for those that have watched throughout this whole gameplay. I will announce my next game soon. And yeah, I shall see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one. Ciao.